Among the hostages released on Monday were two siblings, Sahar and Erez Kalderon. Their father is still being held by Hamas, though, and two of their other family members, a 13-year-old girl and an 80-year-old grandmother, have been found dead. Their cousin, Abbey Onn, an American citizen living in Israel, spoke to us in October, just days after they were taken. And here's what she said then.
When the rest of the family came out of the bomb shelters after Hamas had burned and murdered half of the kibbutz, they understood that these five members were not there. And it was on Sunday that we saw on Instagram, on social media, the video of Erez in the hands of Hamas, which made us understand that they had been taken captive and that they're being held hostage in Gaza.
So Abbey Onn is joining us now to speak a little bit more about her loved ones. Abbey, thank you for joining us again.
Thank you for having me back.
I can't imagine the emotional roller coaster that you and your family have been through, the highs, but incredible lows, and also still agonizing about one family member that is still with Hamas. Tell us how you were feeling now.
It is indeed an emotional roller coaster. Starting 53 days ago with what we believed were five hostages, learning that two were murdered, and then seeing the release of these two children 2 nights ago. It's the first time I think any of us have smiled or exhaled since October 7th, but we knew that we had a short period to rejoice because we need to keep fighting for Ofer, for their father, and we need to keep fighting on behalf of all the hostages. Every single one has to come home.
So tell me about Sahar and Erez. How are they doing? Physically, are they okay? Emotionally, how are they?
Physically, they are okay as things go. They're not wounded. They're malnourished. They didn't get a lot of food. They weren't able to use the bathroom when they needed to. Right? Like, I think we don't really describe or imagine to ourselves what it must be like to be kept in captivity, but it's horrific. We're hearing so many things now come out of those that were released where they couldn't speak loudly. They were forced to watch the horror movies of what happened on the 7th. They were held at gunpoint. They weren't given food. Almost every single person that's come back has lost significant amount of weight. So we're seeing now the outcome of these horrors.
So did you say they were some captives we're hearing now were forced to watch the video that was shot on that day of the terror attack?
One of the 12-year-old boys was forced to watch, not Erez, but a different one was forced to watch that awful movie. And if he cried, he had a gun pointed at him and told him to be quiet.
So in terms of your cousins now, were they together the whole time? What do we know about how they were held?
We're not sure yet. We know, that they were released together, and we're not sure that, we're still learning a lot of the facts, but they went directly to the hospital for medical care. Their mother and their two older siblings were waiting for them there. So that, I think, was the best case scenario in the sense that they could go right to Hadass, to their mother. And we have a big and strong family that will continue to fight for Ofer and to continue to fight for every single hostage.
Well, these families of the hostages, I mean, really, it was your outcry that helped to turn this around, help to bring about this ceasefire to allow for the release of hostages. But as you know, there was a lot of diplomatic pressure happening behind the scenes. Their father is still there. I know that there's a request to at least have the Red Crescent or someone go in for some sort of proof of life, some sort of wellness check. What would you like to see the Israeli government and the American government do moving forward?
Right now, I'm not a military expert, but if you can continue the ceasefire to get more hostages out, that's, of course, the best case scenario. But beyond that, I think all of us are confounded as to why the Red Cross or Red Crescent or UN or any international aid organization hasn't gone in, because that's part of the terms of the ceasefire. Now, we know that there are wounded people there. We know that one of the women that came out in the first groups was 4 hours away from her death because she didn't get her medicine. And we're constantly in touch with the ICRC, and we're constantly trying to pressure for signs of life and for the delivery of medicine, because people need things to stay alive. Hirsch Goldberg, Poland, is missing an arm. He needs medical attention. He needs to be brought home. So those two things, the best case is to get them all out now. And the minimum is to get an international aid organization in with medicine and care.
Well, Abby, thank you so much for talking to us. I know it's an emotional time for you. Let's pray that Ofer gets home, and I know you'll continue to fight for all the other hostages as well. Thank you.
Thank you.